Hola, mi nombre es Benjamín Maldonado, este es mi negocio, Street Cowings. Tengo 2 años más o menos con el negocio. La misión y la visión todavía no tenemos definido, pero estamos trabajando en eso para definir bien exactamente nuestra misión y visión.
Muy bien, Benjamín. Bueno, te voy a hacer unas ciertas preguntas relacionadas a tu empresa y en general. Espero que me las puedas responder. La primera sería, como empresario, ¿cuál crees que sea el factor más importante que una empresa debe de considerar?
Pues hablando en este ramo de restaurantes, yo creo que el principal factor es la calidad que se le da al cliente, el servicio que se le da al cliente y la calidad que manejas en productos que le ofrecemos al cliente. Creo que es lo principal que quede satisfecho y además brindar un buen servicio.
¿Qué crees que sea más importante, las ganancias o la imagen que proyectas a tu mercado?
Las ganancias por la imagen que proyecta el mercado. Pues digo, si manejo una buena imagen proyectada a mis clientes, pues eso me va a generar ganancias. Entonces, digo, las dos son importantes obviamente, pero creo que si haces una buena imagen, te va a generar ganancias.
Si una empresa igual a Street Wings te pidiera hacer una fusión, ¿lo aceptarías? Sí, no, ¿por qué?
No lo aceptaría. ¿Por qué? Porque creo que en mi negocio creo que yo lo puedo hacer y además no me gustan las sociedades.
¿Estarías dispuesto a vender tu local si alguien te ofreciera la cantidad de dinero que tú esperarías?
No sé, tendría que pensarlo muy seriamente.
Y última pregunta, ¿de qué manera uno se puede organizar para mejorar el desempeño de su empresa?
¿De qué manera uno se puede organizar para mejorar el desempeño de su empresa? ¿De qué manera se puede organizar uno mejor para lograr el desempeño de su empresa? Pues yo creo que pues por ejemplo, hablando de mí, cómo me puedo organizar yo, pues yo creo que es alentando a los empleados, digo, checando que hagan bien el trabajo, lo que ofrecen al cliente, que todo salga bien, y yo creo que de esa manera pues puedo desarrollar un mejor funcionamiento de la empresa.
Ok, Benjamín, muchas gracias. Eso sería todo.
So in the interview we make to Benjamin, I think he's like a pretty clear example of all that it takes the first parts, which are like the planning and the organization, because he's not only the owner of this business, but the business is pretty new. It only has like 2 years, so he might still be struggling with the parts of um, promoting his own place. So in the at least in the part of planning, he has like the heaviest part because he needed to decide in which ways he wanted to create his own business, and he needed to plan out it. Like he needed to decide where he was gonna put his place, what kind of restaurant was he gonna have, and which type of service he wanted to give. And that came all out of him because he is the owner of his own business. He needed to think through which type of things he wanted to do and to like to where he wants to get. He needs to decide, have a clear mission and vision. It doesn't matter if his business is like little, and he explained that he is still gonna have it well defined, but it's important. It must be part of your planning because in that way you push yourself to reach something bigger than what you have in that moment. And I think that especially with small businesses, that's like important because it allows you to grow and like grow your business or your idea. He also has like the struggle of organizing each member of his group or his staff at his restaurant. Since the place is pretty new and perhaps not so large, then he might not have like lots of employees or lots of people helping him. But since he's the owner of the place, he needs to decide which person is doing what, and that's not easy because you need to check what are the abilities of each person and where to decide where to place them, or if they're really helping you or if they are simply not working with your place. And he might have like start even with an even smaller business, and maybe it was just like him and someone else moving along. But if he has been doing it for 2 years, that means that he has starting to have certain growth, and he might have like more employees eventually, or needed or will need to get a manager at some point, or to get someone to help him with the financial aid or something like that. And he has to organize that. He has to assign tasks for every single employee. He has to decide which, like, if you're gonna work in the kitchen and you're gonna serve the tables and you're gonna clean the place. And that all depends on him because he is the owner of that place and he's working in that place.
Talking about the management functions of directing and controlling, the team made up the following conclusions. In the matter of leadership, based on what was stated by Benjamin in the short interview, it can be assumed that the business follows the autocratic style. This mostly because when referring to better ways to manage the business, the owner laid most of the responsibility referring regulations on himself and not on the subordinates. In the corporate culture matter, by mentioning a good image as an important matter, the owner reveals that the base of the protocol for the company will probably be on a certain behavior that makes the business better looking for the customers. Finally, for control process, Benjamin is focused on the client. The action followed as the manager looks for alternatives to make the customers feel better.
The skills that managers say they need to carry out their task are divided in four. The first one is planning, the second one is organizing, the third one is leading, and the fourth one is controlling. And the organizational structure of a restaurant is divided also in four ways. It's the ownership, first one, second one is the general manager, the third one is front of house, and the fourth one is the executive chef. The ownership, by its name, is the one who owns the restaurant. The general manager is the second in charge. He is the one that manages the restaurant. The front of the house is the one that, like the secretary, he covers the money and the economical stuff. And the executive chef is the one that is in charge of the cuisine, and he's the one that makes the food.